All right, y'all. Welcome to Street Church Congregation. Come on in. And for first time visitors, welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, y'all. We're going to just jump right into this video. This video is going to be about President Joe Biden, the current president of the United States of America. And I didn't do a video on the debate, and I'm not going to do a video on the debate because we saw what we saw. We heard what we heard. We've been seeing it, but now we had a chance to see it up against Trump. So there's no more excuses for them. So they turning on him. But I had wrote in a Facebook that his health, right? I posted it because I wanted it to be there so it would be a memory on my Facebook. Because everybody who had voted for Biden in 2020, they was talking all this crap, and they was living the lie that the media and that the government, from the Democratic Party's end, was feeding them. They was eating off that lie. That this man was not declining, that this man was in tip-top shape. And the decline was there in 2020. The declines was there. You could see the sign. And they only got worse. So they called them gaffes, right? And I know that I'm running my spiel and ending up, but this video is about him, so I might as well run this down too. But we saw what they call gaffes, but that was his decline. And as they got so worse, they don't know what to call it, so now they calling it flubs. They calling it anything and everything but what it is. And that's a man who has some kind of disease, whether it be Alzheimer's, Parkinson, whether it be both. It could be so bad, it could be Alzheimer's and Parkinson just eating away at this man. And this man needs as much rest and just time with his family and his friends and his loved ones as much as possible. That's where he needs to be, but not in the Oval Office running this country. That's it. And I'm going to tell you something too before I talk about the subject that I wanted to talk about. Excuse me. I really was hoping that Trump didn't get the nominee for Republican. Not because I'm against Trump, not because he didn't do a good job his first 4 years, not that I don't think he could do a good job. The reason why is for the same reason the Democrats is having trouble with Biden. It's because it's a stronghold, his brand and his policies and his politics. That is, it's the name behind it. They won't separate the politics and the policies that he has from his name in the Republican Party. That's the problem. That's why some Republicans are trying to stand their ground for not supporting him, because they want to get it back to being the Republican Party's policies. Because the border and the right to bear arms and freedom of speech and not having the government have all this executive control and regulations and stuff, that's conservative policies. Now people assume that that's Trump's way of thinking instead of being the conservative policies, and that's the problem. Now with the same thing with Biden, it's different. He's done allowed every ideology, every wayward policy that's not working for the country. He's done let them in to the Democratic Party. And he's stuck with these people because these are the voters. These are the core voters. And it's under Biden that brand is under. So again, it's the same thing. It's just dealing with the Democratic Party. It's branded under him, and they want to pull away from him. But in order to do that, and another thing they did is the reason why they was able, and this is, I don't care what nobody say, people can call this misinformation. They stuffed those ballots and cheated in the 2020 election. They used ballots. And the reason why they want him out the way is because they could fool you into believing he was popular enough to get the votes that they stuffed the ballots with. But now he don't look so well like he's popular enough for them to cheat those ballots. They need somebody that's young and popular to make it feel like there was some kind of comeback made with the Democratic Party. And that he got so popular, you get what I'm saying? He or she is so popular that now it's possible for them to justify all those votes that they'll get, aka stuffing ballots and ballot harvesting. And they can't do it with him because his popularity is not up. His face card, let me talk street for y'all. His face card ain't as solid as it used to be. For the American people to be fooled into believing he's finna get more votes than Trump. AKA those ballots that they stuffing and cheating with. So they need somebody. See, like if you put Michelle Obama in there now, it would make sense if she got on pop. If you could play around with the numbers with her face card. Kamala Harris, the same thing. You could play around with her face card. Because all you got to do is just put the lies that you put behind Biden and the derogatory comments and the label and narrative that you put against Trump. You can put anybody in place that makes sense. You can put them in place and keep the same narrative going against Trump and lie to the American people and say, this is what helped us get over. And all you need is a few million over Trump. You can project what he's about to get and then put the few million votes you need over him on this new face card. But you can't do it with Biden. And that's the only reason that they talk about him stepping down. So they can have enough time to make it seem like the person that they put in place made so many strides to overtop Trump. Right? That he got so popular that his movement and his momentum, or her momentum and her movement, got so much greater than Trump. Then he just, or she just got popular. And it take one incident from Trump for them to make it snowball into something bigger than what it is. That's all they need. But they cannot do it with Biden. You cannot throw nothing out there to do nothing to take, because the American people is so fed up with the Biden administration. But now if you put a Gavin Newsom in there, you can start using his looks first. Then he can, and all just like they do Biden, he can go from state to state to state lying to the American people. And because of his looks and his height and the way that he carries himself, you can start lying about the polls and the numbers, and him all of a sudden catching up with Trump. And then the narrative that you've been running now, all you got to do is reword it and fit it for him, right? I'm just giving you an example. And now it looks like that's the way you should go. So all of a sudden what happens is when you put that person in place, now Trump look as bad as he used to look before Biden got exposed. You get what I'm saying? Are y'all following me? Come on, this is Street Church. We're going to lay it all out. So this is what they need to do. They, if you get a Governor Whitmer in there, it may work. But her problem is she's terrible in Michigan. So is Gavin Newsom in California. He did worse than she did. But Governor Whitmer, with the problem with us in Michigan, we don't stand for the politics that we believe in like we should. We don't get upset like we ought to about our politicians like we do. They do a lot of secretive, elitist stuff around here in Michigan and get away with it. Sadly and unfortunately. So she might be able to get away with it. You see what I'm saying? But they got a problem with going over Kamala Harris. So they cannot do it. So now you got to work with Kamala Harris, and Trump can run that down in the ground. He can run that down. He can run that down. He'll run that down. Because she with the Biden administration. You get what I'm saying? So that's their dilemma. But that's what they want to do to us. They want to put somebody in place that they can prop up, start pushing the narrative against Trump again, and have a new face to point at Trump, the bad guy. And then fool us at the ballots and make us think that they got so popular and that they got so much approval from America, aka ballot stuffing and ballot harvesting, that all of a sudden the tables got turned. Yeah, okay. So anyway, let me give you a couple minutes of what I was actually talking about, because I just want y'all to know where we at. This right here is sickening. Okay? But recently this Biden, he been going on all these interviews to try to prove that he's cognitively sound and that his health is not an issue, and it's just been making his health and his cognitive decline more of an issue every time you do an interview. This is no different. He did an interview recently, some kind of podcast. He was and here's even the sadder part about it. The woman that he did the interview with, the White House sent her specific questions to ask them, tailored for him, right? Not off the cuff. And she agreed to do these tailored questions for him. And when she exposed the White House for it, doing it this way, she got fired. But in this interview, this man says he is proud to be the first black woman vice president up under the first black president. He said it in his way to let you know that he was not realizing what he was saying. There's no way around it. You can't fix it. It was clearly stated by him with emphasis. He never, you know how sometimes he says, excuse me, something and try to correct himself, try to get back on track. But he said this emphatically. He said this with some oomph. He said this where this is not something you really can backtrack on. And again, this was tailored for him. This was scripted. And he still got it wrong. So his cognitive capabilities, his cognitive decline, his physical and mental health is still in question. And every time they let him go out into the public, every time he needs to deal with the press, every time he needs to make political decisions that are of utmost importance to us as Americans, to help us and not harm us, he will fail because his mental and physical health is failing. That's the bottom line. Now, y'all can go search on YouTube where he says this, and you can gather it for yourself, but it was played several times, and without question, he was saying it as though it was so. Meaning, whatever they scripted him to say, he got it wrong and mixed up. And that's how the interview went with him and this black lady. And if anybody is calling themselves woke or black activists, this is a time where y'all should be most outraged because this black journalist, podcaster, vlogger, blogger, YouTuber, whatever you want to call her, because she could be certified and an affiliate with some type of media, which would make her a part of the press. Whatever she is professionally or was, because she got fired, she was fired and y'all should be outraged. As black people, we should be outraged. I'm outraged, but I have no power. But those who are in power should be outraged and do something. And that goes for the Republican Party too. Byron Donalds, what's his name? Wesley Hunt, Tim Scott, Lawrence Jones from Fox, Faulkner, Harris Faulkner. All you black leaders, all you people in position on both sides of the aisle should be outraged and get to the bottom of why this lady was fired. As black people, as black Americans. This is Street Church. We're gonna lay it all out over here. Anyway, this video is longer than what I wanted it to be, so I'm finna cut it. But y'all like, share, subscribe, comment, let me know what y'all think. I don't need to know what y'all think about Biden. It's a wrap for me. It's already been a wrap when he became president. It was a wrap for me all the years that I've known him to be a politician. I ain't never wanted him to be in this position. But that's me. Anyway, y'all know what to do. This is Street Church. I'm letting the congregation out. God bless.